imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Dre Broadcasting Network tonight as we hang on to our seats with the Precision Racing League. We are live at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round number 8 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by GenXRacing.com and GemX.com. I'm your commentator, Sean Zulu. I am joined by my good friend and producer, Dave Edley. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Ready to see some wonderful action here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Absolutely. Going from Kansas Speedway last week, a one-groove racetrack for the most part, high sideline all the way around, more single-file than double-file racing, to a track that is about 3 to 4 lanes wide, 4 wide, 5 wide is acceptable. It is doable. A lot of grip out there tonight. Open setups. Let's see what can possibly go wrong. Just a recap from last week's race. Actually, at Kansas Speedway was the support for D. LaBath by LIT Motorsports. Cody Notmiller brought it home. Dale Robertson came out second. Christian Swenson came out third. Joni Pierce fourth. Dustin Hall fifth. Pody Johnson sixth. Chris Perez seventh. Steven Mattox eighth. Jeffrey Ford ninth. And Steven Johnston did round up that top 10. And in that race, Daniel Wilborn was a new driver last week. That was his first race at Kansas Speed when he actually dominated. He actually took the pole position, but unfortunately he had some bad luck later on in the race. But he is here tonight as well and took the pole during practice. And also we had a lot of drivers racing very, very hard all race long, knowing that it was past the halfway mark of the season, which means it is go time and time to find fifth gear. It became a one-groove racetrack as laps went by, which encouraged a lot of drivers to race hard on newer tires right before the single-file racing begun, because once again it was a one-groove racetrack, which meant the inside line was not the place to be. I mean, it was the place to be in the beginning when you had newer tires, but then later in the run, the inside became very, very loose and tight for others due to differences in setups. And we had some green flag pit stops, which did separate the field and made the calculators very, very useful. That is, calculators very, very useful. But it was an amazing race overall and many battles, and may the battles continue here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And unfortunately, we had some drivers who had an early night last week at Kansas Speedway, so they are trying their best to have an even better race right here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And looking in the chat there, we have Timothy Petito. Timothy Petito, good to see you there, buddy. It has been a while. It's been a whole week. And Timothy Petito is already picking a driver who he thinks is going to win tonight. Fifth place guy. Let me see who that is. That's going to be the 11 of Brandon Massey. Is that right there, Timothy? Verify. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. If you are returning, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. And we do hope that you guys enjoy the show here tonight with the Precision Racing League. They never cease to amaze us. Well, also tonight here, getting some info from the producer here, Dave Everly. Once again, we have 60% fuel limit. That is 60% fuel limit. And the pit window from all the way from 30 to 35 laps. And 35 laps being the maximum number of laps they can go before those engines stop running. I guess the engine starts sputtering. So once again, that's going to give us about 2 to 3 required pit stops in order for the drivers to be able to make it. The full length of the race, 125 laps. That is 125 laps with this 93 degree Fahrenheit track temp with a 65 degree Fahrenheit air temperature. And once again, they do run open setups. So like we talked to some drivers last week during the interviews, they are excited about tonight's race. They came prepared. A lot more racing is going to be done here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So let's see exactly what these drivers have in store for us in terms of competition. Oh, Josh Conker in the chat. Josh Conker, it's been a while. That was 654 Josh Conker from last season right here with the Precision Racing League. Well, buddy, we look forward to seeing you here in the near future and hope you're doing good. And if you are there, ladies and gentlemen, let us know who you're ready for tonight. Say hello. We'll give you a shout out. Once again, let us know who you're there in the chat and be active. And we are now gridding, so we'll give the drivers a few seconds before we go down the list. Well, here in tonight's grid, our post sitter is last week's post sitter. It was his first race. That's Daniel Wilborn taking the pole both in qualifying and practice. James O'Brien, defending champion, starting second. 16, Joni Pierce third. And also James O'Brien is the pick for of Josh Conker in the chat. So James O'Brien is Josh Conker's pick. Joni Pierce third, Craig Hawkins fourth. Brandon Massey, that is Timothy Petito's pick in the chat. Fifth place, Dale Robertson sixth. Corey Blevins 7th, Eddie Hawks 8th, Dustin Hall 9th, David Dreckman 10th, the 14 of Paul D. Johnson 11th, the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne 12th, the 6 of Stephen Mattox 13th, the 60 of Colton Lane 14th, the 28 of Eric Roberts 15th, the 77 of Ken Caruthers. Unfortunately, Ken had an early night last week at Kansas. It was his first race as well. He is starting tonight in 16th place. 19 Matthew York 17th, and Jeffrey Ford, last driver qualifying in the 18th place spot. The 43 Stephen Johnston 19th, Stephen Aguiar 20th, Markel Murphy 21st. We have John LaBeouf, Tom Chisholm, Chris Perez, Adam Chapman, Trevor White, Derek Pemberton, Ronald McManus. These drivers rounding up the rest of the field, giving us, I believe, 27 drivers here in tonight's race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, round number 8 of 12. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. Let's get it done. Oh, we have Bryson Dykes in the chat going with the 60 of Colton Lane. That's 60 of Colton Lane having a cheerleader in the chat. And welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network, Bryson. Oh, that's very right, absolutely, Josh. And I remember you talked about the karting that you had. I remember from last season when we spoke. We hope that it's going well as well. Well, this lineup 10 of Daniel Wilburn with the help of the 16 of Pearson on the inside. On the outside is James O'Brien being pushed by 23 of Craig Hawkins. Let's get it done. Exiting turn number 4, going green for the first time. This time by fingers crossed and get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, these guys got 125 laps to get her done here at Las Vegas. As we are out of turn 4, pace car is off. We are being led by the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. As we are waiting green flag in the air, we are green flag racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
On the outside line so far, Craig Hawkins was caught sleeping, but up front for the lead, side by side, James O'Brien, Daniel Wilburn, inside, outside line, off turn 2, Brian just might have him. But Wilburn is trying his best to clear O'Brien successfully, but O'Brien with a slingshot off turn 2, and we're trying to side by side still, Henry turn 3. And right behind is 16, Joni Pierce. Joni just watching the battle between the two drivers, but they do end up going back single file. And they just might try and pull away from the rest of the field, Dave.
Yeah, they're trying, but I tell you what, the 10 of Daniel Wilburn's got a pretty good lead, but James O'Brien trying everything he can to get around him. As you see him going up and down the track, but look there in third, Joni Pierce. And we got a little bit of a hornet's nest right there behind the 5th place of Brandon Massey. With Corey Blevins, Eddie Hawks, Dale Robertson, Paul D. Johnson sitting there. So we've got a little bit of a hornet's nest behind these guys. So as we see Brandon Massey now making a move here, he is trying to get up into the 4th position as he is trying to overtake the 23 of Craig Hawkins.
And like we discussed at the end of last week's race at Kansas Speedway, we talked about how these drivers had a lot of beasts inside them. Angry beasts, that is, meaning they could not really unleash all their competition at Kansas Speedway due to it being a one-group racetrack. But here tonight, Dave, they are very angry and are trying their best. So, they're going to accomplish, they're going to be able to unleash those beasts. So with that said, a lot more side by side than ever before right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 45 Eddie Hawks behind 24 of Corey Blevins, who is side by side with the 23 of Craig Hawkins as we speak on their back straightaway. But 16 of Johnny Pierce, Dave, off the track. Not sure what happened to him. He is slowing down. Going down pit road this time by, I believe Johnny might be having some technical difficulties that he's trying to get repaired or sorted out. But hopefully he's going to be able to get back out there before too long.
Yeah, most definitely. It's unfortunate there for the 16, but going back up front, the 1 of James O'Brien was able to get around the 10 of Daniel Wilburn, taking over the race lead here on lap 5 of 125. Brandon Massey starting 5th, already up into 3rd position, as he is now trying to track down the 10 of Daniel Wilburn and the 1 of James O'Brien.
Also, Dave, for the back in the pack, the 6 of Steven Mattox behind the 33 of David Dreckman. The good thing about this track, Las Vegas, the drivers do have the benefit of the draft. With that said, the more close, or the more bunched up they are, the faster they'll go. At the same time, it's going to mean it's going to be more difficult for the drivers up front to pull away from the rest of the field like they usually do. Oh, contact up front, some bad neck, unfortunately, of Johnson involved off the track. He's spinning as we speak. The green flag will stay out. Yes, green flag stays out. Dave, if we can, let's back it up on Paul D. Johnson and see what happened.
Well, we are going to take a look here at Paul D. Johnson as we are pulling up the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here. We'll find out what exactly happened here. Looks like he had a car down underneath. That's going to be the 13. Looks like a little bit of net code. It's going to get him up into the outside wall. No other cars involved. Great job at keeping that down underneath. No speeding penalty because he kept it from hitting the commitment cone, as he is going to get back out on the track here. But unfortunately, this is going to set him back here.
Definitely very, very unfortunate indeed for the 14 of Paul D. Johnson and the bad net code that occurred between him and the 13 of Jean-Francois Chappé. They were nowhere near each other. But unfortunately, that ended up like that. But going back a little bit further back in the pack here, we do have the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, but taking the 60 of Carlton Lane. Carlton Lane down to 14th place. Jeffrey Ford up to 13th as we speak. And Carlton is overtaken by the 19 of Matthew York as well. So it looks like Dave Carlton is backing it down to try and save tires before the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean. But I tell you what, I'm shocked at right now. James O'Brien is already pulled out to an 8/10 of a lead over Daniel Wilburn. But the thing of it is he burning his stuff up here? These guys are going to be looking to a pit window about 30 to 35 laps. So this is definitely going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. The outside line has not come into play just yet. Well, we have a driver like 48 of Mark Helmert, for example. He is trying to make the outside line work. Last lap, he unfortunately got a little bit too friendly with the outside wall off turn number 2, which did give him some right front damage on the machine, and he is pushing up as he's going to go 3 wide. Eric Roberts, 81, Derek Pemberton in the middle lane. They go back double wide, and Markel does back it down to let them by. And that damage on the machine of Markel is definitely affecting him, and most absolutely affecting the rotation of that machine. And at these speeds that they're taking, they do need the rotation very, very much. That's very unfortunate indeed for Markel Murphy. He is trying his best to keep that machine high up in speed with the help of the draft, with the use of the draft of Eric Roberts in front of him. Oh, yep, that machine is not rotating. He jerked that wheel all the way to the left, and it was not turning. It was just pretty much pushing like a dump truck, unfortunately. Hopefully he's going to be able to get on pit road and get some of that damage fixed, and hopefully that helps his machine before the race is over. Right in front of him is the 58 of Tom Chisholm. Tom Chisholm, 21st place, gaining 3 spots this far from 24th place. His next victims are the 78 of Ron McManus and the 41 of Chris Perez. And Chris Perez is being challenged by 78 of Ron McManus, but Ron gets off the track, spinning out. He saves it somehow. That definitely could have been ugly. Oh, he's spinning out as we speak. He loses control of it. He counter steers it back to life. And he is still on the racetrack and still rolling forward in the right direction. And the green flag stays out. Nice save by McManus in 78. Going back a little bit up front, 96 of Adam Chapman behind the 19 of Matthew York. So far being shown 16th and 17th place single file, working together for common good, trying to catch the other opponents. The Eric Roberts, Carlton Lane, Jeffrey Ford, David Dredman, Stephen Mattox, Ken Caruthers, Dale Robertson, Dustin Hall, Eddie Hawks, and Craig Hawkins. And a heavy mover here so far tonight in the top 10, new to the top 10 actually, the 77 of Ken Caruthers from 16th place to 10th.
Yeah, these guys doing a good job here. Got a couple cars already into the wall, unfortunately, but they're putting down some pretty good lap times, 28, 29 second lap times. Taking a look here. Actually, they're starting to move up into the 30 seconds as they're right about halfway of their first fuel run. So I think the way these guys are driving, I think we're going to see a lot of green flag pit stops tonight.
Yep, that's going to make things very, very interesting. And as we speak, so far these drivers, pit crews, busy at work trying to calculate how much room they have for error when it comes to those pit stops. And once again, green flag pit stops to separate the men from the boys, just like Dave likes to talk about. And with that said, a race can be won or lost on pit road. So making sure your pit crew is high on caffeine is a very, very good benefit. It is very, very important for drivers' success. And also up front here, Jacques-Francois Champagne in the fifth place spot, after starting in the 12th place position behind the 24 of Corey Blevins in 4th.
Well, Sean, I'm taking a look here at Daniel Wilburn. He was actually about 8 tenths behind James O'Brien, but he has now closed that to less than a second. He is all over the back bumper of our race leader, the one of James O'Brien, here on lap 18. Now, getting to him is one thing, but getting around him is another.
Oh yeah, you have to time it right, you have to set him up, and with James O'Brien's experience, it's not going to be an easy task for Daniel Wilburn, like we've seen all season long and in the previous seasons from James O'Brien. The people do try and play mind games against him, to try and make mistakes, but it never ever works out. And so far, Wilburn most likely is going to try and have a very good pit stop to try and outsmart James O'Brien. Like last week at Kansas, Wilburn had an excellent pit stop for the first round of green flag pit stops, which did end up benefiting him against his biggest opponent, the 42 of Cody Nattmiller. So he's going to try and do the exact same thing, having an excellent pit stop. So in the next 10 to 15 laps, green flag pit stops should kick in, or will kick in.
Yeah, most definitely. But I tell you what, if you look right there behind Daniel Wilburn, Brandon Massey, he's not that far behind. He's about 1.2 seconds behind Daniel Wilburn, but he's actually closing that gap. So here comes the 11 of Brandon Massey as he's going to be working to catch up to these guys in that hugger machine there. So looks like somebody's a WWE fan, so we'll give him credit for that. But he's keeping up and he's pacing pretty good with them. Now just about 1.3 seconds. Corey Blevins sitting right there in fourth behind him. He's about 1 second behind Brandon Massey. And then Jean-Francois Champagne sitting there in fifth. About a second and a half behind Corey Blevins.
And I just now noticed one thing, and that's the 43, Steven Johnson. Johnson had a very, very rough start to tonight's race. His machine has seen better days. He does have some damage on the rear end of that 43 machine, and he was 8 laps down, got around the leaders, got 1 lap back the hard way, down to 7 laps down, trying his best to get all his laps back before tonight's race ends. He is in desperate need of a lot of cautions so he can be able to accomplish that. But very unfortunate indeed for 43 of Steven Johnson. Already we have some drivers a lap or more down. For example, we have Derek Pemberton, Johnny Pierce, Markel Murphy. Actually, that's going to be Cody Johnson, Derek Pemberton, Johnny Pierce, 1 lap down, racing for the Lucky Dog. Markel Murphy, 2 laps down. We saw Markel early on got into the wall there on the exit of turn 2, which did affect his machine. And as we speak, he is trying his best to fight that machine the best that he can. And Johnny Pierce as well. Not sure what happened to Johnny Pierce, but Johnny was on pit road for an unscheduled pit stop, and that machine was pretty clean. And at this point as well, he doesn't seem to have a scratch on it. So it looks like he had some difficulties that we cannot see by the eye, but it's most likely internal by the looks of it. So Derek Pemberton, Johnny Pierce, Cody Johnson racing for the Lucky Dog as we speak. And going back to the race here up front, we have Jeffrey Ford. Jeffrey Ford being challenged by the 28 of Eric Roberts for 12th place. Eric to the inside, Ford on the outside. But Ford has the benefit of the slingshot off turn number 2. And he will end up clearing the 28 of Roberts and maintain his 12th place spot successfully.
Yeah, they were side by side there, but Eric Roberts wants to get in front of him. Meanwhile, the 33 of David Dreckman there right in front of him. He has got a battle going on right now with the 45 of Eddie Hawks. Nope, they are getting around. It looks like the 14 of Paulie Johnson. Eddie Hawks right there above him, just kind of riding. Good to see him doing well here inside the top 10.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this series, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series is brought to you by Gen X Racing. GenXRacing.com. Gen X Racing is an iRacing based team. They do run B Open, C Open, Super Late Models, A Open. So that's going to be Xfinity cars, trucks, Super Late Models, the Cup cars, the Gen 6 cars, NIS, Precision Racing League, where they do Legends, Can-Am cars, dirt racing, road racing, anything fun. They do it all. This is brought to you by Jimex, and that's Jimex.com, and that's JIMEXS. Jimex specializes in industrial and transportation hardware, so definitely check them out. That is JIMEXS.com. That is Jimex.com, and Jimex is on the top right of your screen, right below the lap counter, while Gen X Racing is right below the on the top left, right below the live sign right here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. So once again, thank you for being a part of the Dre Broadcasting Network tonight with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's very good to have you guys.
Well, Sean, going back out front, it looks like the 10 of Daniel Wilburn has gotten back around the 1 of James O'Brien, taking over the lead here. These guys just swapping positions here, so now Wilburn has pulled out to, looks like 8/10 of a lead over James O'Brien's. Meanwhile, Brandon Massey there in the 11 machine, still sitting there in third, just about a second and a half behind.
Yeah, great job by Wilburn taking back the race lead. He did take the point in practice and qualifying. So with that said, he's back in his rightful place, having triple ones across the board, practice, qualifying, and the race so far. And our first green flag pit stop taking place as we speak. 78 Ron McMahon's on pit road for his first pit stop of the evening. with 27 laps on his tires. So here in the next 3 to 8 laps, green flag pit stops will take place. I should say more green flag pit stops will take place. And also as we speak, here some position changes. We have Darrell Robertson in the 6th place spot. Darrell Robertson has been maintaining the 6th place spot, which is where he started. Actually scratch that. Just got bumped up into the 5th place spot. Dustin Hall down to the 6th place spot. David Dreckman 7th, Eddie Hawks 8th, Eric Roberts 9th, and Jeffrey Ford in the 10th place spot. Pit road getting busy every single lap. Brandon Massey, Adam Chapman on pit road as we speak. James O'Brien pitting in as well at the same time. And James O'Brien going down pit road with 30 laps on his tank, and that's going to bump up Corey Blevins to 2nd place, Jacques-Francois Champagne to 3rd, Darrell Robertson to 4th, and Dustin Hall in that 5th place spot. Even more pit stops taking place. Jeffrey Ford, Steven Mattox on pit road as we speak. 24 Blevins backing it down, going down pit road. This time by out from 180 miles an hour down to pit road speed limit, 50 miles an hour. And the leader gives up the race lead to go down pit road. The 10 of Daniel Wilborn pitting in as we speak. We have Dustin Hall, David Dreckman, all down pit road as we speak. At the same time, we have a new leader so far, 13 of Jacques-Francois. Jacques-Francois backing that sucker down, pitting in this time by on lap 32. And so far, Dave, only a few more drivers left to pit in, namely Dale Robertson, new race leader, Tom Chisholm, and Matthew York. These 3 drivers in the lead laps who need to pit in, and everybody else, Derek Pemberton. Let's see who else. That's going to be Johnny Pierce, Markel Murphy, and Steven Johnston as well do need to pit in as well before too long. And going back up front to our new race leader, Darrell Robertson is still staying out, going on to now 34 laps on his tank. Tom Chisholm bumped up to 2nd place, Jacques-Francois 3rd, Matthew York 4th, and Eddie Hawks in the 5th place spot. It's only a matter of time before Darrell Robertson decides to go down pit road, coming to his final lap that he can do on this tank before that engine starts sputtering. He is going to try and avoid that because that does cost a lot of time, a lot of spots, and could be deadly.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to try to figure out something because it's looking like a 2 to 3 pit stop night as we see Dale Robertson now breaking off, coming down onto pit road. Same with Tom Chisholm. He is coming down pit road. That is going to let all these guys that are a lap down from the previous stops to get back on the lead lap. So this is going to shake things up a little bit here, Sean.
Oh, definitely. And then we talked about how important these pit stops were. I mean, good pit stops were, and Darrell Robertson almost screwed it. He actually got a little bit too hard into those brakes and got the back end upset because those front tires did end up locking up, but he was able to somehow counter-steer it and save the machine. So no harm was done there to Robertson, and he is now rolling off pit road as we speak. And that once again does round up the first round. Actually, scratch that. We have Johnny Pierce still needing to go down pit road for his pit stop. And Johnny Pierce coming up to now 32 laps on his tires. So once he pits in, that's going to round up the first round of pit stops. And yep, Wilborn takes back the race lead. James O'Brien 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Darrell Robertson 4th. Actually, that's now changing. It's changing by the lap, so I will wait a little bit before I go down this list. Looks like it's updated now. Daniel Wilborn is leading. James O'Brien 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Craig Hawkins 4th, and Corey Blevins in the 5th place spots. And Pierce right now is trying to keep these guys behind him. The lead cars on the keeping them behind him, but so far having no luck because once again he has over 30 laps on his tires, while everybody else has less than 5 laps on theirs. So he should be pitting in here before too long, coming up to now 34 laps on his tires.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are only 89 laps remaining in tonight's race. We are actually getting close here to the halfway point. So we are going to go ahead and take this time to take our first commercial break here of the night. So you are once again watching the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X Racing and the Precision Racing League. We'll be right back after a few short words.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round 8 of 12. It is brought to you by GenXRacing.com and GemX.com. And Gen X Racing is an iRacing-based racing team. They run B Open, C Open, Super Late Motos, A Open, NIS, Precision Racing League, and a lot more other things as well. Anything that looks fun, they do it all. Also, and GemX specializes in industrial and transportation hardware, so check them out at GemX.com and Gen X Racing. And we have Gen X Racing on the top left of your screen and GemX on the top right of your screen. Well, going back to the race, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are watching it live on the Dre Broadcasting Network. And the first round of green flag pit stops came and went. And now these drivers working towards calculations for their second round of green flag pit stops that are here to come. And the pit stops did separate the whole entire field. The field is spread out at this point. And the caution flies on lap 45. This is going to be good for some, but bad for others. We'll back it up and see what might have been involved. Oh, it involved the blue machine. That's going to be 81 of Derek Pemberton. Heavy smoke from the rear end.
As we are taking a look here at the 81, it looks like another car got into the grass. The 37 machine came back up on the track, and the 81 had nowhere to go, making contact. That is going to be the 31 machine. So let's see if we can see what happened to him to get him down in the grass here. As I'm going to try to find him. Or I think that was the 37 machine of Dustin Hall. So let's rewind this here and see exactly what got him down in the grass. 37 of Dustin Hall. Ooh, slides up, just loses the back end, gets down in the grass. And he is going to come back up, and unfortunately the 81 of Derek Pemberton trying to get around him and just lost it coming into turn number 1. That is going to be our first caution of the night.
Absolutely, very, very unfortunate indeed for the driver involved. 81 of Derek Pemberton. He is on pit road as we speak. His pit crew is hard at work trying their best to straighten that machine out and get that motor back up and running and eliminate all that smoke. That is never a good sign. Well, this is a very good thing for a couple of drivers. Well, this caution, that is. That's going to be Tom Chisholm. Tom Chisholm should be getting the waiver on the pace car, the lucky dog, here before too long in the next 1 to 2 laps. We have Chris Perez, Matthew York, Ron McManus, Johnny Pierce, Cody Johnson, all being shown 1 lap down. If these guys stay out, they will be getting 1 lap back, but then they won't be able to pit in. So that is something you have to sacrifice. So it's pretty much a gambling situation. You have to choose one or the other, but you cannot choose both. And yep, Tom Chisholm gets around the pace car back on the lead lap on lap 49. We have Markel Murphy being shown in 24th place, 3 laps down, and Steven Johnson still going nice and strong, 7 laps down, going to be getting 1 lap back with the 1 to go mark, which is going to put him back down to 6 laps down. And up front, the leader, Daniel Wilborn, did lead everybody down pit road and actually wins the race off pit road, maintains his race lead. And right behind him will be James O'Brien. Brandon Massey comes out 3rd. 24 Blevins comes out 4th. And Jean-Francois, actually, Darren Robertson overtook Jean-Francois off pit road. So they're in the top 5. Everybody from 1st through 4th place maintained their spots off and on and off pit road. But Jean-Francois unfortunately lost the spots to the 3 of Darren Robertson. And will be trying his best to get to take that back once the green flag flies for the 2nd time. This does give us some time to get a race interview in. So let's focus on one of the drivers here tonight. The pick for Timothy Petito in the chat there, the 11 of Brandon Massey.
Yeah, I think somebody blew up and he got a passing on the yellow. I'm not sure.
Well, we are being joined up in the Dre broadcasting booth by the 11 of Brandon Massey. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good, guys. How are you doing? You kind of surprised me.
Oh, sorry about that. I do apologize. Well, we're glad that you're doing well, and you have a big fan in the chat there, Brandon. That's going to be Timothy Petito. How's the race going so far, buddy?
Oh, it's going 10 times better than I expected an hour ago, man. I did not expect to be up here.
Oh, copy that. Yep, you have been making headway, just maintaining the top 5 all race long this far. And tell us about your experience with the green flag pit stops for the ones who just had there a couple of laps back.
It was pretty exciting, man. My main goal there was just to not mess up my pit road entry. I tend to, I don't practice entry on pit road. During practice, I'll make 1 attempt. I feel like when I practice, if I make 2 or 3 attempts on pit road, when I actually pit in a race, I mess it up. So when you see me pit, it's usually for the 2nd time ever.
Oh, copy that. That does make sense. And Brandon, last week, coming from Kansas Speedway to a track where you have a lot more freedom, a lot more forgiveness. How did you have to adapt? Basically, how are you adapting to from the one groove racetrack to a multi-groove racetrack?
Oh, I tell you, it's definitely a lot harder, man. It's really tight down here in 3 and 4. If you do not put the car in the right place, you're going to melt the right front off of this thing.
Oh, 10-4, that does make a lot of sense, and it comes down to that tire saving. And we've noticed you've been trying to just work different lines. And how's the outside line doing? Has it come into play yet? Did it come into play in the first run?
Yeah, here through 1 and 2, the more we seem to rubber this up, the more it seems to be opportune to get closer and closer to that wall through 1 and 2. So it's definitely opening up now.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, Brandon, you have come a long way tonight. You have been keeping your head high in the top 5 all race long. And keep doing exactly what you're doing. I look forward to seeing you in victory lane. Hopefully, we see you lead a couple laps before the race ends. And most importantly, lead the final lap and win it. Make us proud, buddy.
Hey, thank you, guys.
And that was the 11 of Brandon Massey with the Ironic Sim Racing team. We are now back 1 to green. Everybody got the wave around the pace car to get 1 lap back. And this lineup with a 10 of Wilborn still leading with the help of the 11 of Bernard Massey. On the outside is James O'Brien being pushed by the 24 of Corey Blevins. Gonna be going green this time by for the second time. Let's get it done. And very, very good first green flag run by these drivers, and very much needed caution for a lot of drivers out there. So much needed caution, that is, for some drivers out there. It made some happy, but some not so happy. But this caution definitely has shaken things up. Fingers crossed. Turn 4, the pace car dips off. Wilborn still holding pace. He puts on the floor. He does catch the drivers off guard. The one of O'Brien maintains second place spot. And Massey will try and pass, but so far tries his best to outshift the one of James O'Brien. Right behind Massey is the 3 of Robertson, ready to pounce.
3 of Robertson's going to be on the inside. He is going to take that position away from Brandon Massey. Massey not out wanting to be on the outside, but look, there comes the 24 of Corey Blevins. He is going to be all over the back bumper of Dale Robertson. They both are going to get around the 11 of Brandon Massey, dropping him back down into 5th position.
Evan Massey will try and get back in line here on the restarts. Yeah, the outside line is never the place to be, but once you get up to speed, the outside line will come into play. Like Brennan, I talked about, the outside is a very good place in between turns number 1 and 2, because they do have a lot of grip. And he was able to make it work all race long. This far in front of him, we still have a battle between the 24 of Blevins and the 3 of Robertson side by side. 24 of Corey Blevins to the inside, while Robertson's on the outside line, side by side still for 3rd place.
Yep, looks like Brandon Massey's going to follow the 24 of Corey Blevins. He's going to get to the inside of Dale Robertson as he's trying to get those positions back. But meanwhile, while these guys are battling, Daniel Wilborn and James O'Brien are starting to pull away. James O'Brien looking to the inside there of the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. They're going to be side by side coming into turn number 4. So it's all going to be about the exit here as they are going to be dead even. I wonder who's going to get it. It looks like James O'Brien is going to lead that lap.
And judging from the first round of pits, the first green flag round that we just had, we noticed early on that O'Brien was able to take the race away from Daniel Wilborn, but then towards the very end, it was like O'Brien did end up fading away, which meant Wilborn did a better job at saving his tires. So Wilborn just might have the exact same strategy, but the more they battle, the more they're getting caught by the drivers behind them. Yes, they are. Corey Blevins has caught these 2 drivers and is watching the battle from the cockpit as we speak.
Actually, we have the in-car of Corey Blevins, so let's jump on the in-car here. Let's take a look at what he's seeing out his windshield right now.
You can see him right now take a different entry, a different race line, entering turn number 3. And off turn 4, he does gain some time against the one of James O'Brien, while Wilborn takes back the race lead successfully here on the board. And O'Brien will try and pounce against Wilborn before too long. They are taking different race lines, both going middle to high lane in between turns number 1 and 2, just like the 11 of Bernard Massey talked about. Very, very accurate. And Corey Blevins is trying his best to keep up with them. And right behind Blevins is the 11 of Bernard Massey as well, trying to pounce at the same time. And Dave right behind them with Adam Chapman, who is side by side with 13 of Jaffran. So these 2 drivers have been side by side for the past 2 to 3 laps and still battling as we speak. Looking at Jaffran, so he is in 6th place on the outside, and Adam Chapman in 7th place on the inside. But Jaffran so maintains a 6th place spot away or against Adam Chapman. But Adam is being challenged by 23 Craig Hawkins. So Adam's not having an easy time just yet.
Yeah, most definitely, but good job there by Jean-Francois Champagne, starting 12th, already up into the 6th position. Taking a look at some of our top movers right now. Corey Blevins, he started 7th, now running 3rd. Talk about Adam Chapman, though. Look at him. He started 26th tonight. He has moved up 19 positions and running inside the top 10 in 7th position.
Oh man, what a heck of a move by the 96 of Adam Chapman, who was able to have his first win of the season at Sonoma Raceway, the road course, and trying to have his second win of the season right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for round number 8 of 12. 4 races left after tonight's race, and Adam very, very loose off the exit of turn 2. Almost smacks the wall actually from correcting it. But the 23 of Hawkins will pounce due to the mistake. And that's just one thing about a track like this with car machines like these. You have to always be on your toes every single lap, because the machines handle differently every single lap. Like we have seen right now, Adam Chapman was doing very well riding that low lane the last couple of laps. So then last lap he wanted to spin out on him, and now he is finally back and adapting to the changes in the track.
But going back up front, take a look at this. Our top 3 almost bumper to bumper. Brandon Massey right there as well. So actually our top 4 pretty good positions here. Taking a look, Daniel Wilborn has led 36 laps here tonight. James O'Brien leading 21. Dale Robertson leading 3 laps. And Jean-Francois Champagne leading 1 lap here so far tonight.
Yep, congrats to these drivers leading some laps tonight. And these the laps they lead, ladies and gentlemen, they do get a bonus point for leading a lap. Which means, and that bonus point does really make a difference in the long run, because sometimes you might have a bad race. Like last week at Kansas, we had a lot of drivers have an early night, so those bonus points do end up acting as a safety barrier, and they're to hold these drivers' hands in case they are about to fall, which is very, very beneficial and works against nobody, but with everybody or the party that gets those points. And these drivers do their best. They do amazing and trying their best to lead a couple of laps. And looking for the back in the pack of Jeffrey Ford. Jeffrey Ford here is behind Eddie Hawks and Craig Hawkins. And Hawkins is to the inside of Adam Chapman, still side by side, trying his best to take it away from Adam Chapman, but Chapman not having it. Adam Chapman is not going to give up without a fight.
Now taking a look here from Jeffrey Ford's cockpit. He is just watching that battle in front of him. He's being pretty patient. Started 18th, up into 10th position, gaining those 8 positions. He's making a little bit of ground, but looks like he's getting a little bit of push in the middle of the turn, making him have to back up and losing a little bit of time.
And in the chat, we have a new viewer. That's going to be Matt Vanderwall. Good to see you, Matt. Welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. And he's rooting for the 14 of Paul D. Johnson. Unfortunately, there, Matt, Paul D. Johnson had some bad luck early on here in tonight's race, but he is still on the track, trying his best to put down as many laps as he can, because he is actually up to speed, despite the damage he has sustained. So he is very determined to get the job done, despite everything that he went through tonight.
Yeah, that's one good thing about this league and the drivers. They don't give up. They stick in it here. As we see the 23 of Craig Hawkins working to get around the 45 right now. They are side by side. He is going to power off on the backstretch and make that pass while Jeffrey Ford is right there. But now they're back side to side. They are just following the lead there of the 96 of Adam Chapman.
Yep, and Hawks being challenged by the 95 of Jeffrey Ford to the outside, and they almost make contact. No harm done. Nice save by both drivers. And Ford will try and pounce against 45 of Hawks on the exit of 2, tries to cross over. But they did have the exact same burst of speed off turn number 2, the slingshot. So that will keep them still single file. But in front of them, Hawkins and Adam Chapman still side by side as we speak. By changed lanes, Adams to the inside and Hawkins on the outside. And Hawkins makes the pass successfully against Adam Chapman, driving him down to 8th place and himself up to 7th. And in the chat is a 9-11 of John LaBeouf. Question to John LaBeouf. He's not racing tonight. Look forward to seeing you again next race, John. But look, we hope you're doing well.
Well, Sean, we are beyond the halfway point. Only 58 laps remaining in tonight's race. Let's take a look at our mid-race report right now. Mid-race, we have had 1 caution for 4 laps, 7 lead changes here tonight. I tell you, James O'Brien has put down the best lap of the night with a 28.817, but we are still being led by the 10 of Daniel Wilburn.
Yeah, congratulations to the 1 of James O'Brien, defending champion once again. He is so far trying his best. Every time he gets close, that's one thing we talked about, like you talked about, Dave, in the beginning. Getting to a driver is one thing, but getting around the driver is a totally different thing. With that said, one of those things is easier than the other. So with that said, O'Brien is trying his best to get around Daniel Wilborn, but so far having no luck. He is getting very close to him. He's getting right on his back bumper every now and then, but he is it is difficult to make the pass. Just like we saw in the beginning when O'Brien was leading, Wilborn had trouble getting around O'Brien. It's just pretty much a chain effect and between these two drivers, and we have a driver just rolling off pit road. That's going to be the 19 of Matthew York, and Jeffrey Ford pitting in as we speak for a second round of green flag pit stop. Oh, actually scratch that. That might be a damaged pit stop. Yes, it is. Jeffrey Ford, heavy damage on the machine. Very, very unfortunate indeed for Jeffrey Ford. That machine has seen better days of the Ford Lane Motorsports team. So far here, the left front of the machine is banged up, and so is the right front of it. So his pit crew is hard at work trying to straighten it out to help with their aerodynamics on the straight stretches.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat for you here tonight. That's right. We have the speed cams, the crank it up cams, the turn your sound up and just hear the vibrations of these cars going by. So we are going to give you a special treat here for a couple of laps. Let's hear the roar of these big V8 engines.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, was the Crank It Up cam courtesy of the Dre Broadcasting Network. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to those V8 machines roar as one in a pack. Very, very nicely done, and we do once again hope that you guys enjoyed that a lot. And we have green flag pit stops on the way, ladies and gentlemen. James O'Brien, Brandon Massey, Dale Robertson, Jack Francois Champagne, Adam Chapman, Eddie Hawks, Ken Caruthers, Trevor White, Johnny Pierce, and Jeffrey Ford all down pit road this time by for their second round of green flag pit stops. I've been spending much of Trevor White tonight, actually. You know, he's an amazing driver as well. He did start in 27th place spot, has been keeping a very low profile there in the rear of the pack. He's one of the drivers who just pretty much stays in the back of the pack all race long and then pounces towards the very end. So before too long, we'll see his name appear in the top 10 and top 5 and podium. So fingers crossed. And the 10 of Wilborn giving up the race lead to go down pit road this time by. So Danny Wilborn, David Dreckman, Eric Roberts, Craig Hawkins, Ronald McManus pitting in as we speak. All caution flies on lap 76. Caught some drives at a very bad time and some not so much. We're going to back it up and see who might have been involved.
Oh man, the one of James O'Brien was included in that. We had a car into the wall. I think that's going to be the 14 of Paul D. Johnson. Let's take a rewind here. Take a look. Paul D. Johnson just kind of riding. Oh, the back end comes loose on turn number 4. He gets into the wall, and unfortunately, it shoots him off the wall, and the one of James O'Brien nowhere to go. So, unfortunately, it's going to take out some good drivers here.
Oh, man. Very, very unfortunate indeed for all drivers involved in that. Pit road is going to get even busier than it was before. And James O'Brien's pit crew is going to be hard at work trying their best to work on that machine, and so is going to be the 60 of Cotton Lane's pit crew and 14 of Paul D. Johnson. But going back up front, being led, actually so far these drivers are trying to get it all cycled out because everybody is confused. So we're going to have a lot of drivers being shown a lap or more down due to this caution once again catching them at a very, very bad time. So let's see exactly what happened. And so far, Steven Mattox is waiting on the pace car so he can pit in. So at this point here, we have Steven Mattox, Chris Perez, Markel Murphy, and Steven Johnston. These 4 drivers are the only ones left to pit in, but everybody else has already pitted in. And the good thing is, for drivers like Steven Mattox, actually, for all the drivers I talked about there, the 4 drivers, only Steven Mattox is on the lead lap. So with that said, once Mattox pits in, he should maintain the race lead. I should say, after he pits in, he should maintain the race lead. English is hard. English is hard. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this would be a good time for us to take a second commercial break of the evening, so you guys can get your next round of popcorn and refreshments, so we can thank our sponsors. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the Dre Broadcasting Network as we continue tonight's race here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by the GenXRacing.com, and GemX iRacing.com. Well, we are back 1 to green, being led by our new leader, Daniel Wilborn, Steven Mattox on the outside in 2nd place, Corey Blevins 3rd, and David Dreckman in the 4th place spot. Pace car dips off. Wilborn maintains pace speed. He does abuse that pedal. Finally, the green flag does fly. Mattox on the outside, caught sleeping, and behind Mattox will be 24. Blevins will try and pounce, but so far is staying in line. Nope, he does pounce against Mattox, also inside, entering turn 1. And David Dreckman here is in line as well. Actually, that was a jacked up start by the looks of it. The positions were kind of wrong, but David Dreckman now is behind 43 of Steven Johnson. Johnson is not a threat at the moment. He is still 6 laps down, trying to get his laps back the hard way here before the race is over. He is racing very hard, and that machine has a lot of speed despite the damage he sustained early on in the race tonight. And he is getting around 58 of that's going to be 58 of Tom Chisholm as we speak. And also for the back in the pack here with the cluster, it's going to be between 28 of Eric Roberts, 41 of Chris Perez, Dale Robertson, Adam Chapman, 13 Jacques-Francois, Ken Caruthers, big check on the outside line. It's going to be a cluster here, but great racing. It's like traffic around 5 p.m. rush hour traffic. And these drivers definitely doing an amazing job despite so much pressure here tonight at the moment. And Ken Caruthers as well here being shown in the 9th place spot. His next victim is 96 of Adam Chapman for 8th place. And Caruthers as well has sustained some right front damage on that machine, but is still has a lot of speed despite that fact. And unfortunately, we have lost 2 drivers. Let's make that 3 drivers. James O'Brien, Paul D. Johnson, and Craig Hawkins are retiring for the evening. And looking at the chat there, yeah, John. Oh man, sorry to hear about the call you got from work and had to miss tonight's race. And also, let D. LaBath know that we're thinking about her and we asked about her. She's always in our thoughts and prayers, buddy. Hope she's doing well. And Dave Trevor White so far making some headway so far in the 13th place spot. His next victim is the 16 of Joni Pierce, but right behind White is the 41 of Chris Perez. Also 19 of Matthew York. Matthew York in that GameStop machine is trying to get around his opponent. That's going to be 21 of Trevor White, but they are about 2 seconds apart. So far, Trevor White has some breathing room, while Matthew York is trying his hardest to catch Trevor White. Try to catch Trevor White, and so far he is trying his best to get some draft, the best he can to help that.
Yeah, most definitely here. So taking a look, we've had 2 cautions so far here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. These guys are putting on a good show as we are being led by the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. Corey Blevins sitting there in 2nd, Steven Mattox 3rd, but I tell you, look who is on the move here. That is going to be the 11 of Brandon Massey as he gets around the 43 of Steven Johnston. He is tracking down the 6 of Steven Mattox.
Yep, and Johnson as well, once again, still trying to get another lap back the hard way by getting around the leader 10 of Daniel Wilborn. So he is very determined to get the job done despite what has happened to him here early on in tonight's race. And also one thing, ladies and gentlemen, despite having the caution, the second caution that we had, these drivers will still not be able to make it on just that pit stop, the last pit stop they had, which means 1 more pit stop is required. But the good thing about this pit stop is that they're only going to be about 10 to 15 laps short if they do not pit in. With that said, they can short pit, they can take less gas or take no tires at all and take less gas, which means less time spent on pit road and more time spent on the racetrack, which is exactly what they want to do. But Dave, even though that's the case, I mean, having 30 laps on the tires is not a good thing. It's going to become icy loose, I would imagine.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean. I look for some of these drivers to start coming in probably within the next 5 to 10 laps. That's when the pit window will open for them to be able to make it the rest of the way. Meanwhile, the 11 of Brandon Massey, he is getting around the 6 of Steven Mattox, moving back up into the top 3 as he is now looking to catch Corey Blevins, but Corey Blevins has actually caught the 10 of Daniel Wilborn as they are looking to shape up a battle here for the lead.
Open, Dave. Looks like pit window has now finally opened. 35 laps left in tonight's race. 35 laps left here in tonight's race. But something tells me, since they just pitted in about 15, I should say 10 to 15 laps ago, most of them will try and just pretty much run the tanks dry so they can have the newest tires possible once they go in, after they go in for the final round of pit stops to come. So fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, if you are new to the Dre Broadcasting Network, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. And for all those returning viewers, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. We are very, very glad to have you all. And Dave in the back of the pack here, Ron McManus. Ron McManus had some bad luck early on, had an unscheduled pit stop early on for his first round. And he is now behind the 19 of Matthew York. No harm done. But Ron McManus is fighting hard for the lucky dog against the 41 of Chris Perez, who so far is in the spot for the lucky dog. But he does have some work to do to keep Ron McManus behind him. At the same time, McManus has some work to do to try and catch up to Chris Perez. So far is a chain reaction or chain of events taking place throughout the whole entire racetrack. Round 8 of 12. 4 laps left this season. Go time. Find 5th gear, 6th gear. Better tear up this track. Let's get it done. And also Markel Murphy here, still 2 laps down, 17th place so far, and does not have any victims or opponents. And hoping to get some caution so he can be able to be back on the lead lap. Early on, smacked that wall, messed up the rotation of the machine, got that damage fixed. The machine is doing way better than it was when I last checked on Murphy. That's very, very good to see from Markel, and very, very nice work by his pit crew.
As we're coming up on 30 laps to go, these guys know it's go time. Meanwhile, Daniel Wilborn has pulled out a little bit away from Corey Blevins. Brandon Massey, though, he is about 3 seconds behind Corey Blevins, so he's got some ground to make up if he's going to try. I have a feeling we're going to see the 11 of Brandon Massey come down on pit road and try to short pit these guys and make up that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely could work out, but at the same time, it could work against him. It just depends on how good he enters pit road. The harder you go down pit road, the better it is when it comes to pit times. At the same time, the more risky it is. So basically, I guess the greater the risk, the higher the risk, the greater the reward. And that's exactly what these guys have in stock. For example, the 60 of Carlton Lins has the exact same mindset. Unfortunately, he had a rough night tonight and is on pit road, getting that damage fixed. 18 laps down in 22nd place, and hopefully, the speaker is able to get that some of the damage fixed, so he can be able to get the machine back up and running. Because he did blow his motor on impact. He got involved in an incident that occurred between Paulie Johnson and James O'Brien. He was at the wrong place at the right time. Unfortunately, had nowhere to go. He tried backing it down. But not enough, no brakes could slow him down in time to avoid that. And pit stops on the way. Matthew York pitting in, Dustin Hall on pit road for the final pit stops of the evening. We have a new viewer in the chat. That's going to be Rene Hernandez. Good to see you there, buddy. Welcome back. And Petito, it's an honor. Oh, absolutely, man. I'm glad you raced the Dre racing car. Hopefully it adds some horsepower to that machine. Oh, we have a caution here on lap number 99. Oh, we're going to back it up as we might have been involved.
Unfortunately, that's going to involve the 3 of Dale Robertson as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here. Take a look and see what happened. The 3 of Dale Robertson was riding underneath the 43 into the wall, come down and tag the 3 of Dale Robertson. But let's see if anybody else was involved. Nope, everybody else is able to get around it. That's a much needed caution because now these guys can come down pit road and make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and the good thing about having a caution here this late in the race, that's going to have everybody bunched back up again. Going to be in the right spots, a lot of close racing. which is going to be some bad news for the leaders up there because they will have a lot more company than ever before. So let's get it done. And once again, later stage of the race, 26 laps left. Very good thing for Chris Perez. Perez is going to be getting lucky dog as soon as actually here in the next lap. Looking in the chat there, John LaBeouf retiring for the night. Yeah, and John LaBeouf, once again, thank you for tuning in, buddy. It was an honor having you in the chat and also seeing you race here with PRL. And once again, buddy, stay strong as usual. Stay strong. Yep, and Chris Perez gets away around the pace car this time by back on the lead lap on lap 101. 25 laps remaining. And everybody is on pit road as we speak, going to be able to make it the rest of the way. So great job by these drivers, but unfortunately, it did really. It made some drivers not happy. I mean, unhappy, because some drivers are very good at the green flag pistols. For example, Wilborn, Blevins, Massey, Mattox, Roberts, and Jean-Francois, and they were very sad to see that caution. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, 25 laps left in tonight's race. We'll take a final commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dre Broadcast Network as we continue tonight's race, Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series Round 8 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is brought to you by GenXRacing.com and GemX.com. Well, we are going back live. 23 laps left, 22 laps. Once the green flag flies, being led by 10 of Wilborn with the help of 11 of Brandon Massey. On the outside is Corey Blevins being pushed by 6 of Steven Mattox. And everybody can make it the rest of the way on gas. So let's race it out. The pace car dips off. Wilborn still holding pace speed. He does finally abuse that gas pedal, and he does catch everybody off guard. And 24 blows the outside, but on the inside, it's Brandon Massey was able to poke his nose into it before the entrance to turn number 1, and is pulling on the, that's going to be 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne, who is at the same time pulling on the 77 of Ken Caruthers.
Yeah, it looks like being on the outside on a restart is not the place to be. As Corey Blevins is in jeopardy of losing that number 2 spot. As Ken Caruthers now looking underneath Jean-Francois Champagne. As these guys are battling out, looks like Corey Blevins is going to hold off Brandon Massey. So they're going to go single file, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, and contact between 6 of Mattox and Adam Chapman. Adam spinning off the track. Back on the track, the caution flies. Heavy smoke from Adam Chapman's machine. Oh man, let's back it up on Adam and see what happened.
Well, as we pulled the Dre broadcast and replay, focusing on the 96 of Adam Chapman here. Looks like he was running underneath the 6 of Stephen Maddox. Actually, no, there was no contact between Maddox and Chapman. He just got down on that apron and back up on the track and lost it, and it sent him into a spin. So, let me see if I can get a better look at it here, but I don't believe there was any contact there, Sean. Taking a look here, he goes down underneath the white line, comes up. No line. He was trying to run the apron and the racetrack, and it just caused his car to break loose, spin him around, and no other car involved. So that's going to bring us under our, I think that's our 4th caution of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Very unfortunate indeed for Adam Chapman. Very, very sad to see his race end this way, and absolutely no contact between Chapman and the 6 of Stephen Mattox. Unfortunately, we have lost 3 drivers: Trevor White, Adam Chapman, and Derek Pemberton retiring for the night. So look forward to seeing these drivers back for round 9 next week at Phoenix International Raceway. Well, going back up front, still being led by Daniel Wilborn, Corey Blevins 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Jean-Francois Champagne 4th, and Stephen Mattox in the... Oh, actually, scratch that. That's going to be the... Oh, let's do that again because I just changed. Daniel Wilborn still leading, Corey Blevins 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Jean-Francois Champagne 4th, and Johnny Pierce in the 5th place spot. Looking in the chat there, we have the 14 Paul Johnson is tuning into the chat. Good to see there, Paul. We have also Junkyard Special. Good to see the Junkyard. I'm not sure who Junkyard Special is, but I know PDJKC is Paul Johnson. And Ford Entertaining Group, that's going to be 95 of Jeffrey Ford, who surprisingly was racing with an Xbox controller tonight. How the heck were you able to do so well? Riding in 10th place, what the heck? It's kind of weird because Dave can't even run in 10th place with a wheel. Oh, and we have one driver who gets the 1 lap back this time by Markel Murphy is back down to 1 lap down from 2 laps down, 14th place. Great job by Markel. But so far, yes, Adam Chapman, once again, sorry, Adam Chapman did retire for the night, unfortunately. 58 of Tom Chisholm in 16th place, Steven Johnston 17th, Trevor White 18th, and Eddie Hawks in the 19th place spot. And drivers going down pit road just to get some tires to have a lot more grip than everybody else. Gonna have about 6 laps less on their tires compared to everybody else who stays out. Matthew York, Markel Murphy, Tom Chisholm, Eddie Hawks, Dustin Hall going down pit road. And so far, our heaviest movers here, we have the 41 of Chris Perez. It's funny stuff in the chat. 41 of Chris Perez from 25th place to 8th place. So far, he was keeping a low profile all race long. He was a lap down at one point, got his lap back the hard way with a lucky dog, and is now in the 8th place spot behind the 33 of David Dreckman. And once we go green, it's going to give us 16 laps left here in tonight's race, a 16-lap shootout. So fingers crossed, anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. The gloves are off. It is go time. Ooh, and also Ronald McManus, who did start dead last, currently the 12th place spot, was a lap down at one point as well. And starting behind 77 of Ken Caruthers in the 12th place spot, and we'll be back one to green this time by. Yes, we are back one to green, still being led by Daniel Wilborn with the help of 11 of Brandon Massey. And I believe at this point, Brandon Massey has started behind Wilborn on every restart ever since the green flag had flown. And Corey Blevins on the outside with help of the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne. With a very, very well-dressed machine going green with 16 laps to go once the green flag flies. And Johnny Pierce here back on the lead lap in the 5th place spot. Had an unscheduled pit stop early on once again. Went a lap down, got his lap back the hard way. Back on the lead lap with the same pace as everybody else. And ready to take some names. Ready to have his second win of the season right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And Eric Roberts 6th. So far, David Dreckman 7th. Chris Perez 8th. Steven Mattox 9th. And Dale Robertson in the 10th place spot. The top 10 so far. But that will change before the race ends. Once again, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have enough popcorn to last the end of the race. And make sure you have enough trash bags to clean it up. Because it will be a bumpy ride. So hang on. And the pace car is off. Wilborn puts down the floor. He does catch the drivers off guard, but Massey does see it coming. Already on the inside of Corey Blevins for second place. Actually, second place this time by. Right behind Massey is the 16 of Johnny Pierce trying to outshift 24 of Corey Blevins as we speak. That shift difference separates the 11 of Massey from 16 of Pierce, and Pierce goes. The 11 of Massey goes off the outside to get in front of 24. Blevins who goes to the inside to try and occupy the inside of Massey, but so far no luck. Johnny Pierce is under pressure from the 13 of Jean-Francois chops his nose off on the exit of turn 4. That could have been ugly, but nice save by both drivers. Great driving, and Jean-Francois back down to avoid getting a scratch on that blue machine, that Jimmix painted machine. And David Dreckman so far is being challenged by 28 of Eric Roberts as we speak side by side for position 6.
Yeah, but up front, here comes Corey Blevins to the underneath of Brandon Massey. He is wanting to take that second spot away. I tell you what, good job there by the 16 of Johnny Pierce. We saw him go down on pit road in the early of the race, go a lot down, and now look at him. He is up here in the top 5 as he is battling with the 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne.
And Dave, we missed some 3-wide action for the race lead. Corey Blevins, Brandon Massey, and Daniel Wilborn. And Wilborn has been robbed. Is it robbed of the race lead? Well, they took the race lead away from him. That's going to be Corey Blevins and Brandon Massey. And is now bumped down to 3rd place. And he will try his best to get around them. But at this point, with the way Massey and Blevins have been driving all race long, I should say, ever since we crossed the halfway mark in tonight's race, they've been untouchable and unstoppable. With that said, it's going to be an even tougher job for Daniel Wilborn. So a good luck to Daniel Wilborn, but he will still try and fight until the very end of tonight's race. Until the race ends, he is trying his best to have his first win right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway after having some bad luck last week at Kansas Speedway, despite dominating almost all race long. His biggest opponent is 42 of Cody Knapmiller, and so far Wilborn to the inside of Massey for second place. Yes, he takes over the second place spot away from Brandon Massey, and his next victim is the leader, 24 of Corey Blevins. And for the back in the pack, David Dreckman is being challenged by the 28 of Eric Roberts. But Dreckman will drive that defensive line to try and keep Roberts behind him. That's a very good strategy by Dreckman because the draft is very strong. With that said, you have to do what you have to do to keep the driver behind you as much as you can. And they are trying to catch up to the 16 of Johnny Pierce, but they are now side by side entering turn 3.
Yeah, Daniel Wilborn has been able to get around the 11 of Brandon Massey for that second spot. He is now trying to track down that 24 of Corey Blevins. We are 10 laps to go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 10 laps left here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
And Steven Mattox as well trying to make some moves, and he is making his moves against 28 of Roberts to the inside. He on the back stretch is gonna poke his nose in. Nope! He wasn't close enough to poke his nose to the inside of 28 of Robertson. He backs it down enough for the 3 of Robertson to pounce. Robertson goes side, his off turn 4 gets loose in the grass. No grip whatsoever sideways. He locks it down to avoid causing trouble. He stops on the track. The caution flies on lap 116. Nice save by Dale Robertson.
Yeah, but unfortunately back up on the track, so we're going to have to line it up and do it one more time as we are now 9 laps to go. We're going to have about a 4-lap shootout here. Let's take a look at what happened to Dale Robertson. Looks like he was riding, and that back end just kicked out, right out from underneath him, got into the grass, got those brakes locked up, but fortunately slid too far up the track and wasn't enough, and they threw the caution here again at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, but once again, nice save by Robertson, keeping that machine out of trouble. Basically, the only damage he gets is the grass on his wheels and nothing else. So a nice save and great job locking it down to avoid getting into the bypassing traffic. That was a very nice save, and unfortunately, I mean, he had a very good run on the driver in front of him there before the incident happened, but it looks like he was carrying way too much speed. The machine could not, I mean, the tires could not handle it. That was the 6 of Steve Mattox. The machine could not handle it, and that did upset the rear end, sending the front end to the inside and the rear end up the track. But nice save overall. But going back up front, we are still being led by Corey Blevins, Daniel Wilborn 2nd, Brennan Massey 3rd, Jean-Francois Champagne 4th, and Johnny Pierce in the 5th place spot. And Dale Robertson going down pit road this time by. He is joining Ken Caruthers and Steven Mattox on pit road. Unfortunately enough, we will see another round of green flag racing. I believe about a 2 to 3 lap shootout. Yeah, we have not spoken to Ronald McManus in a very, very long time. That's a very good idea. Jeffrey, let's actually interview the 78 of Ron McManus. But I want to ask him that, though. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined up in the Dre Broadcasting booth by 78 of Ronald McManus. Get a cup there, Ron?
Yeah, I think so.
How you doing tonight? Get a cup there, Ron? I can hear you. Oh, you're speaking in the wrong room?
I don't know. I hear you, I think.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you now. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Just surviving.
Oh, copy that. And 10-4 to that for sure. And you've been doing an amazing job tonight, Ron. You went a lap down early on, got your lap back, and back on the lead lap, and actually I was able to be a very heavy mover early on from 29th place here to 11th place, and also saw the top 10 tonight. But how's the race going so far?
It's great. This is one of my better races. Trying to get better at driving in this league, and this has just been a nice race.
Oh, very, very good to hear that, Ron. It definitely is showing by your driving style here in tonight's race. And how's the machine been handling? Is the machine meeting your expectations?
Yeah, the team guys that I work with and the setup they made, and some of the practice sessions, it's just been a big improvement this race. It's been very comfortable. Hopefully I can finish where I am.
Oh, copy that, buddy. Oh, we look forward to not seeing you finish where you are. Look forward to seeing you finishing higher up, maybe there on the podium, and hopefully see you have your first win tonight, Ron. How about that?
It never happened, but anyway, thank you very much.
Well, buddy, good luck to you. Doing good so far. Look forward to seeing you in victory lane, buddy. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. Bye.
And that was the 78 of Ronald McManus in the 10th place spot. An amazing driver. Very keeps a low profile. He's been keeping a low profile all race long, all season long. And is now back up. He's now here in the top 10, right with the 10 to go mark, right at the very right time. As he's doing an amazing job. Once again, he said his machine is doing an amazing job. It's meeting his expectations. And as a driver, that is all you can ask for. Well, up front so far, we are going back one to green, this time by. Oh, the pace lights do turn off. Here we are now, back 1 to green. And once we go green, it's going to give us actually a 4-lap shootout. So 4 laps to go once the green flag flies, being led by 24 of Corey Blevins, who will be pushed by the 11 of Brandon Massey. On the outside is Daniel Wilborn, starting on the outside for the first time tonight, being pushed by Jean-Francois Champagne in that 13 Gimex machine. On the outside line, we have Johnny Pierce, who will be side by side with David Dreckman, 5th and 6th. Eric Roberts, 7th, and Eric Roberts starting beside 19 of Matthew York, 7th and 8th. And Chris Perez starting right beside Ronald McManus, 9th and 10th. Let's get it done, ladies and gentlemen. We will get this done. Once again, keep your hands against your seat, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And hopefully you guys are able to keep up. And the next flag ends the race. The caution comes out. That will end the race under caution. So fingers crossed, exiting turn 4, going green this time by. The pace car dips off, and Blevins still holds pace. He puts down Florida, does catch the drivers off guard. 24 at the 10 of Wilborn falls back in line to defend that second place spot away from Jean-Francois and 11 of Brandon Massey, who are side by side for 3rd place, entering turn 1. And Massey is being pushed by 16 of Johnny Pierce. I've noticed about Johnny Pierce is that he seems to be missing shifts frequently on the restarts. But so far he is now back up to speed in 4th gear. The final gear, he gets in, they make contact with the 13 of Jeff-Francois, they go sideways. They're gonna wreck behind the chain effect. David Dreckman involved, 28 of Eric Roberts. Is the green flag gonna stay out? Surprisingly, Ray Robertson gets into the outside wall, and off the track he goes. The green flag stays out, surprisingly. Oh man, Dave.
Yeah, 3 laps to go as we're taking a look here. 3 laps to go, still being led by Corey Blevins. Daniel Wilburn 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Matthew York 4th, Chris Perez up in the 5th position.
And some side-by-side Chris Perez and 13 of Jean-Francois Champagne. And Perez to the inside of Jean-Francois, 5th and 6th place battle. 13 was able to maintain the 5th place spot, and Perez still being shown in 6th. But off turn number 2, Jean-Francois has the benefit of the slingshot. Off turn 2, right behind Perez is the 77 of Ken Caruthers, who has a run of a lifetime against 41 of Perez, and gets around him as though he's sitting still. And next victim for Caruthers is the 13 of Jean-Francois. Yep, he is pouncing on him side by side. He's gonna try and switch these lanes. He overtook Perez on the inside. Gonna try and overtake 13 of Jefferson on the outside line. He's gonna make it stick. Yes, he does. So slingshot engaged off turn 2. Ken Caruthers makes a pass against the 13 of Jefferson, bumped up to 5th place, and is now holding the keys and the door to the top 5. But further back behind is 48 of Murphy. Murphy back on the lead lap. Is trying to overtake the 41 of Perez, but is being challenged by the 6 of Matos.
And the checkered flag out, and Corey Blevins is going to take the win here tonight. Daniel Wilburn's going to come in 2nd. Brandon Massey is going to round out your top 3.
Oopsie daisy, actually. Oh man, I forgot we had only a few laps left. I didn't realize the white flag had flown. But great job to 24 of Corey Blevins, having his first win of the season right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Daniel Wilborn 2nd, Brandon Massey 3rd, Matthew York 4th, and Ken Caruthers in that 5th place spot. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be interviewing the top 3 drivers: Corey Blevins, Daniel Wilborn, and Brandon Massey. So stay tuned. We're going to focus on Corey Blevins, and hopefully we see a smoke show. Yes, we do see a smoke show. He is bringing it down as we speak. Stay tuned.
I'm gonna burn this thing till the tires are gone off of it.
Get it done, Corey. You earned it, buddy. Get it done.
I mean, it was tight when I tried to get on it. Yeah, no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined up in the Dre Broadcasting booth by the top 3 drivers, Corey Blevins, Daniel Wilborn, and Brandon Massey. Starting tonight, so we're going to start with the 24th. Blevins having his first win of the season right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Pick up there, Corey.
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
Doing fine. I got to thank that win to James. I mean, he made that setup. It's all on him. I mean, that's great.
Oh, copy that. That teamwork, very, very important, very, very helpful. And doing flat-out motorsports, very, very proud, Corey. In the beginning tonight, Corey, you actually kept it low profile for the most part. And then once the halfway mark had been crossed, you somehow ended up finding 5th gear, if not 6th gear. But tell us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, I started like 7th there and just kind of bided my time. Was running 4th there and then got up to 3rd, and it just, I just kept waiting for mistakes to happen, and it just come my way. So I took it.
Oh, absolutely. That is all you can do. And very, very great performance on your part tonight, Corey. First win of the season. Very, very impressive. You have had a rough season this far, but we are glad that it has been starting to turn around week after week. That is very, very good to see. And tell us about the green flag pit stops, by the way.
Yeah, green flag. I mean, I don't know if I really... there was one run there where I come in a lap later and it hurt me there for a little bit, but then got a caution, and then I think there was one green flag stint there.
I made that mistake. Yeah, I made that mistake trying to get all I could get.
Yeah, there was a and then I got the lucky dog, and then I, that was luck there, and I missed that big rep between James and who was 14. Yeah,
it was a good save.
So, but yeah, I can't thank James enough for this win. I owe it all to him.
Oh, copy that, Corey. But once again, man, it was all about the driver behind the wheel. Having that heavy foot did pay off. And being at the right place at the right time, making the right moves at the right time. And how did you feel you did when it came to tire conservation?
Yeah, the first run, the tires really did not look good at all. I looked at them like, I don't know how this thing didn't blow a right front tire. And then the next run, it was a little bit better, and then it just kept getting better. So I think mostly it was, the rubber hadn't been built up on the racetrack. So once the rubber started building up on the racetrack, it was able to, the tires were able to be conserved a little bit better. I think that it had more of a, the track kept changing as the race went on. So, my car seemed to actually get better throughout the race, which I was really happy about.
Oh, Dan, for a copy that. Glad to hear that. Despite the track changing and you having a little bit of a bad experience there with the first round, when it came to tires, you were able to adapt, pick it up pretty quickly, and make some changes that did benefit you for the rest of the race. That is very, very impressive. Well, Corey, this is your first win right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and something tells us it's not going to be your last win this season just yet. With that said, what are your expectations for the next race at Phoenix next week?
Phoenix, one of my best tracks. Actually got a 2nd place finish there. I think it was last season to Markel. So yeah, it's one of my best tracks. It's it's all going to depend on the setup, because we're not on fixed setups anymore. But I feel really good about next week.
Oh, Dan, for that gives us something to look forward to, and very, very glad to hear that. Congratulations on your success tonight, Corey, and look forward to seeing you again next week for round 9 at Phoenix International Speed Raceway. And before I let you go, any final words?
Yeah, just thank James again. My sponsors, 24 Designs, Sport Graphic, and Keys Architects and Associates, and I've got Star Tech on there as well. I want to thank them, and just hope to get it back to victory lane again this season sometime.
Congratulations once again, Corey. You earned it, brother. Look forward to seeing you again at Phoenix International Raceway next week. Go celebrate, buddy, and get ready for next week's race.
Thank you, sir.
And that was the 24 of Corey Blevins having his first win of the season right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, representing the Flat Out Motorsports team. But next in line is the alien from last week's race at Kansas Speedway, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. You got a cup there, Daniel?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Well, Brandon, first appearance last week at Kansas Speedway, took the pole. I had the fastest practice time, did the exact same thing tonight at Las Vegas. I had fastest practice time and took the pole and stayed up front all race long and led the most laps tonight. How was the race tonight? How's the experience?
It was good. Had a really good long run card. It was really loose in the beginning, but after 10-15 laps it started coming in. And during each run it just kept on getting better and better towards the end of the run. It was just too loose in the beginning of the run.
Oh, absolutely. That does explain exactly why I noticed you were changing up your race lines every now and then. Go from middle lane to low lane, from middle lane to high lane, just pretty much switching it up with every single lap until you found your sweet spots and used the same line all race long. And just tell us about the battle between you and the one of James O'Brien early on, because it seemed as though you guys were just pretty much going back and forth.
Yeah, it was a good battle with James. I was trying to keep him pinned down there so he couldn't get the run, and I was just trying to keep the lead because I knew my car would come in after 10-15 laps.
Oh, yeah. Copy that.
Yeah, James raced me really clean. I like that. That was good racing with him.
Absolutely, it did look very, very good up here on the Dre broadcasting booth as well, and the viewers definitely enjoyed that. And Daniel, once again, your first race was last week at Kansas, and you've been making your name known ever since. With that said, buddy, what are your expectations for next week's race? Because I mean, you dominated last week, dominated tonight. So should we look forward to seeing you in victory lane at Phoenix?
Yeah, I really like short track racing. I think I really do good at short tracks.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, Daniel, you've taken the pole 2 races in a row. Look forward to seeing you take the pole again and finish a spot higher. Have your first win at Phoenix International Raceway. And before I let you go, buddy, any final words?
Yeah, I like to thank Chris Roberts for building the setup and doing all the changes for me during the race, and just being a part of SimTech Racing too, as well.
Well, congratulations on your success, buddy, doing SimTech Racing. Very, very proud. Look forward to seeing you again for Phoenix International Raceway, round number 9. Have a good one, buddy, and go celebrate.
All right, thank you.
And that was the SimTech Racing driver. Second race for him. That's the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. But next in line is the driver we spoke to early on, representing that's going to be the Ironic Sim Racing team. 11 of Brandon Massey. You got a cup there, Brandon?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Oh, going good, brother. Probably not as good as you're feeling right now, but man, we spoke to you early on. You talked about how the handling of your machine was phenomenal and amazing setup under that hood, and it definitely did show after all race long and after we had spoken to you. But how was your race after we spoken to you? Did you feel that the car was doing better? Because I mean, everybody seemed to have upped their game at that point.
Oh yeah, man, it was definitely a struggle, especially on that last restart on those old tires. I definitely got some wheel spin out of there. I was driving the wheels off that thing, man. Daniel and Corey, they were just killing it. I had nothing for them. I was just trying to tag on, and I was burning my tires up, trying to stay on them.
Oh, 10-4. And tell us about the 3-wide action we saw between you, Corey Blevins, including Daniel Wilborn, when you guys took the race away from Wilborn.
Yeah, it was a little risky, but you know, I trust all those guys, so I knew we'd get through it pretty good. I seen it coming, so we all just anticipated it and moved around it.
Oh, 10-4. Yeah, that was definitely a nice move and very cleanly done. And man, your machine, that is a very, very well-dressed machine. Tell us about your paint scheme, buddy. That is eye-catching.
Honestly, I'm a real big wrestling fan, and I want to try to make my car stick out on track. So I try to make it as bright and random as possible, so nobody can, you know, ever give me the excuse of, well, I didn't see you coming. Well, it's like I'm really bright purple. Like my truck paint scheme is pink and sky blue. You will never miss me on the racetrack.
I'll copy that. Mission accomplished. And once again, very, very well dressed machine. We can tell that you put a lot of time into this paint scheme, and that is very, very good to see. Well, tonight, Brandon finishing in the 3rd place spot, starting in the 5th place spot, staying in the top 5 all race long tonight. And with that said, how do you plan on preparing or getting ready for next week's race, Phoenix International Raceway, different beast?
Well, hopefully I can get a start on a setup pretty early. I prefer Phoenix. It's one of my favorite tracks because, it's a driver track. It's got its own character. So, you go there with a good setup. You still got to be a good driver because you're going to be willing that the whole time. So mainly I'm going to just try to practice my line all week till I can get it perfect and just see where I end up.
Oh, 10-4, brother. And that gives us something to look forward to, and also gives us some hopes that we'll be seeing you 2 spots higher next week, having your first win of the season at Phoenix International Raceway. And once again, congratulations on a job well done tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brandon, despite the heavy competition and the differing track conditions with every single lap, well, but any final words before we let you go?
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to give a really big thank you again, just like Daniel did to Chris Roberts from Overclock Motorsports and all those guys from SimTech Racing. Like they have taught me so much about setups, and they're willing to help out with any questions that we have. So a big kudos to them for really throwing the time behind to help all of us struggling guys out with the new open setups we're running now. Also, a big shout out to my teammate Eddie Hawks. He really helps put setups under me as well and teaches me a lot. And then this setup was actually built by my good buddy Ken Carruthers. I've been racing with him since season 2 in here. This is his setup that I ran. He put a good one under me, and I was able to wheel it all race. And then one final shout out to Ronald McManus, the number 78, who managed to finish in 13th, one of his better finishes for a while. He's come a long way, and I'm proud to see it.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, congratulations once again on your success tonight, Brandon. Look forward to seeing you again next week at Phoenix International Raceway, buddy. Go celebrate and go get ready for next week. Have a good week, buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's good having you.
And that was the Ironic Sim Racing driver 11 of Brandon Massey, finishing in the 3rd place spot, rounding up the podium finishes. And that rounds up the interviews. Corey Bubbins, Daniel Wilborn, and Brandon Massey. And a big shout out to Ronald McManus, who had a lot of shout outs in the chat there with Jeffrey Ford. We had Cotton Lane, including that was I did forget this. The 14th of Paulie Johnson, that is, yeah. Oh, giving a big shout out to 78 Ronald McManus. So once again, Ronald, if you're watching this, your success, your improvements do not go unnoticed. And these guys are trying their best to just pretty much tell you you're doing an amazing job and keep doing exactly what you're doing. I look forward to seeing you have your first win. Hopefully next week at Phoenix International Raceway. When he spoke to you, he talked about how you winning is never going to happen. But trust me, it will happen, buddy. Keep your head high and foot down the floor. Keep your heavy foot. Maintain your heavy foot. And everything will go well. Well, that was an amazing race, Dave. I am very, very speechless right here, round 8, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of it as well. It was very, very battlefield. These guys were able to unleash all those beasts that they could not unleash last week at Kansas Speedway, the One Groove racetrack, with support for D. LaBeouf by LIT Motorsports. But next race is round 9 at Phoenix International Raceway. So look forward to seeing you guys there. That's going to be also a totally different beast compared to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, excuse me, we're going to see a lot of drivers bringing their A-plus game, also knowing that they're getting even closer to the end of the season. Any final words, Dave? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great league. Proud that, we've been last couple of seasons broadcasting the Precision Racing League. I look to working with these guys for many, many more seasons to come and bringing them live for all the fans to watch and enjoy. And what a race. But we're coming down to the nitty-gritty of the season. Excited to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely, it's gonna be very, very interesting, and it has been an amazing season already. The past 3 seasons we've been with the Precision Racing, the American iRacing Sunday Series, and seeing all these drivers grow. Also want to thank everybody here in the chat, both new and old, for being a part of the action live every single week, week after week, right here on the Dre Broadcasting Network with the Precision Racing League. Once again, next race, Phoenix International Raceway, round number 9 of 12. And the next broadcast will be Thursday night with the Upper Edge Racing Cup Series. So if you guys like to see some Gen 6 action, be sure to tune into the Dre Broadcasting Network on Thursday night. Also would like to thank iRacing for giving Dre Broadcasting the chance and the honor to be on the iRacing portal. We also want to thank Precision Racing League also for making it possible. Also want to thank the Precision Racing League sponsors, GenXRacing.com and GymX.com. GenXRacing.com, iRacing base racing team, and GymX.com specializes in industrial and transportation hardware. So definitely check out both websites, GenXRacing.com and GymX.com. We can never thank you guys enough. Thank you for being a part of the action. Once again, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The subscribe button does let you know every time we go live, and we are live quite a bit every week. We used to be live 6 nights a week, but we won't be live 6 nights a week for the next 1 week. But after that, we should be back to normal. So once again, hit the subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you again next race. Thanks for being a part of the action. Have a good week, and thanks for watching.